Our postmark is stamped by a city that was built on the shores of the River Avon and prospered from its harbour. During the 16th century, many grand houses were built with richly decorated and panelled walls, but only one has survived intact, and that's where our postcard is from today, Red Lodge in Bristol. I found unsuspecting Donny Hauser at the house and asked her to guide me round. He started in the early 18th century print room. Now, I've never heard of a print room at all, Donny, ever. Is it because there's lots of prints?
That's exactly right. This was fashionable in the late 17th century. First of all, it shows off the wealth of the owner of the house to be able to afford all these prints of important people, or in fact, they're all French, I think, which makes him seem even more wealthy.
Yes, French kings and queens. Looks like a Cardinal Richelieu print there, for instance, doesn't it?
So that's when this room was reconverted to be like a fashionable late 17th century, 18th century room.
And this glorious fireplace looks like Delft tiles to me.
Yes, it's Delft. And, well, you can see when it dates from.
1688?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was put in afterwards, presumably?
Yes. The house was steadily converted ever since it was built in 1590, according to who was living here. So this would have been put in when they did up the room as a print room, right, in the style of the time.
Well, a first for me today. Now, this room reflects how each era a new person came in. We've got the Tudors, we've got Georgians, we've now got the Victorians here, haven't we?
This is the only Victorian room in the house, and it's just a little display about Mary Carpenter, who was a local woman who did charity work, and she lived here for part of the Victorian era and brought in street girls to educate them to be servant girls. And we've got a painting there of Mary Carpenter with one of these street girls, and the painting shows the Great Oak Room, which we haven't been in yet.
I've never seen anything as magnificent as this room for a Tudor room.
Well, this is called the Great Oak Room because it's completely lined with oak. And actually it's typical of a room in a wealthy house, a fine room in a wealthy house from the late Tudor time. This is an Elizabethan house, and there's very similar rooms to this at Montacute House, which was Elizabethan. And all the decorations are all typical and reflect their tastes, like all the Roman arches in the paneling, all the sort of leaf work, natural patterns, all the little mythical faces, classical columns carved into the woodwork. We came in through
look at this. This is so ornate.
And the porches are typical of West Country Elizabethan houses, and this is one of the finest ones left.
Yes.
Because it's so large and so ornate.
I must just mention this glorious fireplace. I mean, this really is quite something, isn't it?
Yeah.
ER. Is this Elizabeth I, or is it the present Queen?
No, Elizabeth Regina wouldn't say Elizabeth I because she wouldn't have known that she was going to be
another one coming.
Exactly. So it's Elizabeth Regina.
And this classic Elizabethan brickwork.
Yes.
Which you see outside on houses, especially Elizabethan arms houses.
Right.
And in like the chimney pots, you get that crisscross.
Yes, tessellation.
Tessellation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donny. I'm intrigued by those little cutouts on the bedspread.
Okay, the bedspread is a replica of one made by Mary Tudor when she was under house arrest. Oh. And the Friends of Bristol Museum made the replica. The animals are the animals that they would have found to be exotic and unusual. They're spelled however they wanted to spell the names, which reflects the fact that they didn't have spelling rules in Elizabethan times. People spelled things as they felt like it. And all the bed clothes are replica, but the bed is original Tudor. Henleys owned the house in the 18th century and did most of the modernizations. So this staircase was put in by the Henleys. The chandeliers here and downstairs are the Henleys. They modernized, in 18th century terms, the downstairs so that most of the rooms are Georgian. They changed the roof of the house, and they changed a lot of the windows, so that most of the changes in the house took place when they were living here.
So we're grateful they didn't change the great oak room.
I think we're very lucky that they didn't change those 3 Tudor rooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go and look then at a classic Georgian room then, presumably, because that's not been changed much either.
Not since Georgian times, no.
There we are. So there we can see as it would have been. That's what you call a light fitting there, isn't it? Would that have been Georgian?
These are the Georgian chandeliers that were put in by the Henleys, that's right.
And this
It's a
Dutch,
yeah.
Flanders, or Low Countries tile.
That's right.
Was it very fashionable to the Georgians?
Yes, that was very fashionable to them. I mean, the first king of that era, William of Orange, came from that country.
Right, William and Mary.
That's right. And although he wasn't a Georgian, but he was the first king of that post-Stuart era, and that was very fashionable. And the ornate furniture, the ornate carvings, the gilded carved furniture, that was all very fashionable.
You know, there's the most amazing, pungent smell of herbs coming up here from this Elizabethan garden that's been recreated here at Red Lodge exactly as it would have been, with exactly the same plants, because these gardens, apart from the beauty of those little tiny clipped hedges, they would have been used, the herbs, for medicinal purposes as well as for cooking. And it really is a very strong smell of rosemary, thyme, sage. It's very powerful. Now, it's said that this little garden is actually designed to be exactly the same as the ceiling of the Tudor bedroom in there. What do you think?